Hi everyone, welcome back to 67 Hail Hail for a brand new week on this wonderful channel. Now, if you had a weekend that was anything like mine, you will probably be in need of a bit of a roundup of what's happened with regards to Celtic. So that's exactly what I'm going to bring you on this video. I do sound a bit croaky. I can promise you that this time, and probably only this time, it is not to do with a hangover. Picked up a cold somewhere. It's not COVID. I did have a test earlier this morning, did that all myself, so I'm all good. Channel might look slightly different today. We've got a few new graphics. I'm also, and you probably won't know this, using a blue screen behind me rather than a green screen so that I can wear green things. So you probably don't care about that either. So let's move on to stuff you do care about, Celtic. Now, as I say, we're going to use this video, as we normally do, to just run through some of the stuff that's happened over the last few days. I think about 80% of this video will be transfer related, but I'm going to make the most of it because the transfer window won't be open forever. It's got, I think, 8 or 9 days to run, so we'll milk it dry over the next week or so, and then after that, we'll have a real shortage of content. There certainly wasn't a shortage of content on the channel yesterday. We recorded one of our longest videos probably ever. I think it was about 40 minutes. Me and John got together for a chat about everything that's going on with Celtic. It's obviously, if you're after more of a conversation as opposed to just me talking, then I would check that out. But we've got plenty for you on this video as well. The video yesterday was generally quite a positive video because Celtic are making us feel pretty positive at the moment. However, it did have to end on the rather sour note of the racist abuse that was aimed towards our star Japanese international Kyogo by some Rangers fans who were on a supporters bus going up to Dingwall for their game against Ross County yesterday. We did cover it yesterday on the video. But since then, Celtic actually put out a statement in tweet form yesterday about, I think, 7 o'clock or so. I was sleeping mostly yesterday, so that's a rough estimate. I thought it was a really strong and to the point statement from Celtic. They condemned the sickening and pathetic racist abuse. Really, really strong words from Celtic. As I say, I thought the statement was really spot on. Just as time goes on, I'm just feeling more and more sorry for Kyogo that he has to put up with this. He's moved across the world to follow his dreams at Celtic. He's been adored by his former club's fans, the way they had the send-off when he left Vissel Kobe. He is absolutely adored by the Celtic support. And then he has to put up with this vile racist abuse just a few weeks into his time in the country. It's just not on. It's sickening, and I just hope he's all right, and I hope that he gets all the support he can need, because the Celtic support, and I'm sure the vast majority of football fans both in this country and around the world will be with him, because it's more important than football when people have been subject to abuse that's centred on where they're from. So yeah, all the best to Kyogo. He's one of 6 what I would call real first team signings we've made this summer. I think Celtic are saying it's 8 so far in total, but I'm not counting Urhoghide or Liam Shaw really as first team signings at this point in time. So far this summer, in terms of first team signings, all of them being permanent. We've had Joe Hart, McCarthy, we've had Kyogo, Abada, we've had Starfelt. We added the 6th player on Saturday. Josip Juranovic has joined from Legia Warsaw, a 5-year deal. He is expected to meet his new teammates either today, maybe by the time you're watching this, or tomorrow. Ange says he also hopes to make more announcements in the coming days. So who are the potential announcements? Liam Scales, the Republic of Ireland youth international, who's currently, for now, playing with Shamrock Rovers, certainly looks the most likely to be the next arrival. I was kind of expecting that to be done over the weekend. Obviously hasn't happened, but I don't think there's anything to worry about there. Georgios Giacomakis seems like it's not quite as much of a done deal as Liam Scales. Although VVV Venlo, the Dutch second-tier side who he currently plays for, say they want to get the deal done as soon as possible. They don't want it going right to the wire of the transfer window. I'm assuming that's because they want to be able to replace him without having to have a mad rush in the final few hours of the window. So we're in for him. Werder Bremen are still in for him. I think there's going to be other clubs as well, given his scoring record in the Eredivisie last season. Reminder that he was the top scorer with 26 goals in 30 matches. He's going to be much sought after, depending on who you want to believe in terms of Greek journalists. Some are saying that he's pretty much guaranteed to go to Germany. Others are saying that Celtic are still his preferred destination. I don't really know. I don't think many people out with his kind of close circle and at the clubs really know what's going on. I just want us to get another striker in. Giacomakis certainly looks like he would score goals for us based on last season, but if it's not going to be him and it's not going to be Thomas Henry, then surely we've got other players on the list that we can go and get pretty quickly in the final week of the transfer window, namely a guy called Kevin Nisbet. I started to get a bit excited over the weekend because rumours of a swap deal between Celtic and Hibs for Kevin Nisbet and Lee Griffiths emerged. Those rumours and the feeling of, oh my God, this might actually happen, were intensified when Kevin Nisbet was left out of the Hibs squad for their draw against Dundee on Sunday. However, Jack Ross then completely poured water over my rumour flames by saying that Kevin Nisbet was only left out because he was feeling unwell. There must be a bug going about at the moment or something. And that the chat rumours about the swap deal were basically nonsense. So Nisbet doesn't look likely, but if you're going to believe a report from the Daily Record that came out on Sunday night, Ange still wants to improve and add players in 3 main positions at Celtic. And I found some of this a little bit interesting, but I'm going to leave you on a bit of a cliffhanger for the next 30 seconds or so while I tell you the main thing that came out of the Daily Record article. It's to do with Ryan Christie saying that Burnley, great destination to play your football, are seemingly very interested in bringing him to the club. Reminder that Ryan Christie can sign a pre-contract at this stage, and to be honest, I wouldn't be hugely surprised if Ryan Christie does just want to move on. I hope he doesn't. I hope he's seen what Ange is trying to bring to the club in the early stages and how well he's playing, and I hope that he realises that if he achieves something mega this season, like helping Celtic win the league, playing just as well as he has so far this season, then he could go at the end of this season, assuming he signs a contract obviously, to a far bigger club than Burnley. Now, the 3 positions that Ange reportedly wants to strengthen according to the Daily Record. Are you ready for this? Number 1, another centre-back, most likely to be a loan, according to the report. Now, I wasn't sure if this centre-back was going to be Liam Scales, although I think he's actually seen as more of a left-back now. That's certainly where he's been playing for Shamrock Rovers. So another centre-back on top of what we've got, most likely to be a loan. I've not really heard many names floating about, to be honest. I mean, Koa Takura would have been an obvious one, but he's gone to Schalke. I think Cameron Carter-Vickers has also been mentioned, but he wanted a permanent move. I think he's actually gone to Bournemouth. So not quite sure who it's going to be. Ben Davies, another one that moved on. I think he's gone to Sheffield United. So not quite sure who it's going to be. A versatile midfielder as well. Again, I've not really heard too many names. Where are we looking for this? Is it going to be in Scotland? Is it going to be someone like Ali McCann? Or are we going to look overseas like we have done so often this summer? Do we need another midfielder? Throwing it out there. And also another striker. We certainly need another striker. I think even if Edouard stays, which looks kind of more and more likely as time goes on, I still think that we need to add another striker, and the club are clearly keen to bring in another striker, given all the rumours to the aforementioned Henry and Giacomakis nailed at that time. But if it's not going to be one of those two, or Nisbet, who else are we looking at? We must have other names on the sheet. So that's us for transfer stuff for today's video. Thanks again for watching. Before we go, I've got just a wee story. You might have seen this in the press, but it was comments made by the St Mirren goalkeeper Jack Anwick from the weekend. Now, he had a bit of a shocker, probably at fault for 4 of the 6 goals that we scored. Made a few good saves in the second half, to be fair to him, and some of that may, in a funny way, have been down to our goalkeeper. I mean, Joe Hart. Is there anything this guy can't do? Apparently, Joe Hart pulled Jack Anwick for a chat, Love Island style, at half-time and told him to regroup and make saves. Now, Celtic are 4-0 up at this stage. Joe Hart probably wants Celtic to score as many goals as possible, yet he's still showing real class to a goalkeeper who was really struggling. I just think Joe Hart has been a breath of fresh air. I'm loving him at the club so far, and I think there's far more to come from him as well. There's far more to come from us as well, both for the rest of eternity and also this week, because it's a huge week for Celtic and it's a huge week for 67 Hail Hail as well. If you think our content has been kind of alright over the last wee while, then we might be about to go into another gear this week, because we've got big plans for the big Celtic games that are coming up. I don't want to tell you those plans yet. You'll just need to watch the channel. And if you don't want to miss out on any videos that we're uploading, then why not subscribe? We're going to try and get to 19,000 subscribers as soon as possible, ideally before kick-off on Thursday night in Alkmaar. If you're watching this and you've not yet subbed, then please do it now. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care and hail hail.